friends gathered at the Work-Life Flexibility Expo today. I think you know that I would much rather be there with you in person, but there's just a few things going on in Washington right now, if you didn't notice, and I'm just glad to join you via video. In the last few years, technology has transformed every corner of our lives. From poultry lines to paper mills, our businesses and industries are increasingly reliant on IT and on workers with the cutting-edge skills to get the job done. Telework in particular holds a lot of promise, especially when it comes to increasing flexibility and improving efficiency in the workplace. I'm a working mom myself, so I know how hard it can be to juggle the demands of a career with raising a family. One of my fondest memories was when my daughter was only a few years old, and I went to visit my mom who had had some surgery, and so she was recovering in a care facility. And when I was over there, I was a prosecutor at the time, I found out that a murder verdict had come in, and I had to go back to the courthouse, and I couldn't really bring my daughter to the murder verdict. So I said to my mom, okay, Mom, just keep Abigail in this room. Just don't let her go out, because you know how the rules are. And I literally went over to the courthouse, came back, got into my mom's room. I'm like, where is my daughter? I think she was about 4. I said, where is she? My mom's like, well, I sent her out to the cafeteria to get me some pudding. And I run over there. There she is, eating pudding with some of the other seniors that were in that facility. And so I know it's a very tough thing to do everything at once. It's tough, but it's doable. And conversations like the one you're having today take us one step closer toward achieving that often elusive goal, the work-life balance. Studies show that workers who found that balance tend to be happier and more productive. Not only that, companies that encourage flexibility also tend to be some of the most successful and innovative. Take Google, for example. The business has a policy that allows for flexible work hours, telecommuting, even personal time for employees to pursue their own individual projects. Many of our Minnesota companies are also leading the way in this area. Companies like Cargill, Medtronic, SuperValu, Carlson, General Mills did a hearing that I did on work-family balance, particularly on leave for taking care of aging parents. Best Buy has done some tremendous work. The list goes on and on and on with so much forward-thinking work going on in our own state. You all know the United States is home to the most talented, innovative workforce in the world. As chair of the Commerce Subcommittee on Competitiveness, Innovation, and Export Promotion, along with Ranking Member Republican Roy Blunt, we work very well together. I'm working on policies to keep our country that way. Everything from programs that train workers in the skills needed to fill the jobs that are open right now. 46% of our employers say they could actually want people to fill jobs that are open right now, to an education system that emphasizes math, science, and engineering so we can educate tomorrow's innovators in classrooms today, to making sure that our workers have the availability of getting tech degrees and 2-year degrees and other things that will prepare them, to encouraging offices to promote wellness in the workplace, ensuring a healthier, happier, more productive business community. But maybe most importantly, we can't continue moving our economy forward or expanding on promising opportunities without the proper infrastructure. Expanding the reach of high-speed, affordable broadband in Minnesota has been a priority for me since my first days in the Senate. When that stimulus bill came up, I said, let's make sure broadband is a major piece of this. Just as we worked to bring electricity and telephone services to every home in the 1930s, we need to be doing the same with fast and affordable internet. But in recent years, we've fallen behind. Out of 57 industrialized countries, the U.S. now ranks 23rd for access, speed, and affordability. Our average connection speed is 4.7 megabytes per second. To put that number in perspective, the average speed in South Korea is 33 megabytes per second. It's like much of the world is whizzing by in flashy new cars, and we're still puttering along in a Model T. We've made some great progress in the last couple of years. Look at what's happening in southern Minnesota to connect some of our businesses down there. Look what's happening when we're starting broadband projects in our tourist areas up north. But we still have work to do in ensuring that every entrepreneur, business, and household has access to high-speed internet. This isn't just about digging the trenches and laying the fiber. This is about building our innovative infrastructure, giving our companies better tools for doing business, and improving the opportunities available to our people, including working from home. You can't work from home if you don't have high-speed broadband. These are the same goals that you're working on today. You understand that a happy workforce is a productive workforce, one that can compete in the world economy. Thank you for your commitment to moving our country. I love Minnesota. We are the state that brought the world everything from the pacemaker to the Post-it note, and we are taking the lead in innovative ways to make sure we have that work-family balance. Thank you for being part of it. Have a great day, and please keep up that work-family balance, because as my husband always notes, I'm not that good at it, and he would be laughing if he knew that I was recording this video today. Have a good day.